Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 14 and 15 week pregnancy update. Now I know I said I was going to start uploading these by the week, but I just feel like it's a much better video when I'm able to put 2 weeks together and have more information to give you than if I was to do it by the week. This week the baby is about the size of a pear, and this is just an estimate, but most of the baby apps and websites for pregnancy say that baby is about 4 inches and 2.5 ounces now. This week the baby is more active, and sometimes this is even when moms start to feel fluttering, and for me, I don't know that I've ever felt fluttering, but I definitely have felt her kick, and that started week 15. And some people might say, oh, it's just gas. For me, this is my 7th pregnancy, my 5th baby that I've actually made it this far with. I've had 2 miscarriages, so I definitely know it was a kick. It was like a straight jab, like a couple of times in the same spot. So I'm really excited about that. I hope that soon I can start feeling more movement. My current week, starting week 15, I am 158, and that means I've gained 3 pounds since my pre-pregnancy weight of 155. My craving for week 14 was donuts. Every morning I just craved a donut so bad, but other than that, week 15, I haven't had any cravings. I've actually had a loss of appetite, so any food just doesn't sound good to me. I'm actually struggling with eating, and most days I have to force myself to eat at least 3 meals a day. But something that I do gravitate towards is foods with a crunch. So my go-to has been grapes. Not only are they juicy, but they're crunchy. So not really a craving, but just kind of my go-to food. I've also not had any real aversions the past 2 weeks. Mainly my entire pregnancy, it's just been pickles that I really just can't seem to bring myself to eat. But like I said, I've had a loss of appetite, so does my face look swollen? Because I feel like my face is getting chunkier. I can't tell. Now for the symptoms. I've had quite a few new symptoms starting week 14 and also week 15, and the first one is I've been experiencing strong Braxton Hicks. Like, I don't think with any other pregnancy I've felt Braxton Hicks before, but this pregnancy I have them all day, every day, just the tightening of my stomach and my abdomen, and sometimes they get pretty painful. I'm not too worried about it right now, but also something that I will bring up to my doctor. This one might be a little bit TMI, but this is a pregnancy update, so this is all about pregnancy, real things about pregnancy. And week 14 I was extremely constipated, and I don't really know why. It happened. I have noticed that I've been really fatigued, more than normal. Also, I've been really dizzy. I feel like every time I stand up, or if I'm standing for more than a certain period of time, I get really, really dizzy. And with all of my other pregnancies, I think I've mentioned that I've been anemic, so I think that I might be anemic this time as well. Also, something I need to bring up to my doctor, and I've just been really unmotivated, and I'm not sure if it's the fatigue, the dizziness, or a mix of both, but my house is a disaster. The only thing that I can bring myself to do on a daily basis is laundry and dishes. Anything else, it's just messy and a disaster, and I want to bring myself to clean it up because it's gross, but I don't have the energy, and when I do have energy for anything, it's usually spent with my toddlers and my babies. I've mentioned this a couple times already, but I have had a loss of appetite. I I'm hungry, I just can't bring myself to eat, so I kind of have to force myself to eat 3 meals daily. Starting week 14, I became very emotional, and I'm sure you can tell that in my previous videos. I've cried quite a few times, and I get nervous about making YouTube videos because I just feel like at some point in them I'm going to cry, and I don't want to seem like I'm like looking for attention or anything. Like, this is real life. I am an emotional person to begin with, sensitive during pregnancy, especially this pregnancy. I'm crying all the time, and I'm sad, and it like comes in waves. I'm sorry if you guys see me crying in videos. Just know it's the pregnancy hormone. The last symptom that I've started to have week 15 is it is very hard for me to sleep for many reasons. One of them being I can't get comfortable at all. My stomach when I'm laying down feels just really, really heavy. Like if you were to eat too much food on Thanksgiving and your stomach is just like so bloated and so heavy. That's how it feels every time I lay down, whether I've eaten or not. So that's one of the reasons it's hard for me to sleep. Also, any little sound I hear during the night, it wakes me up, and it takes so long to go back to sleep. It's driving me nuts. When I was 15 weeks and 1 day, so yesterday, I had my very first OB appointment, and it was kind of just to confirm the pregnancy and fill out the paperwork and get my due date and things like that. She gave me actually a lot of information that I didn't know, and that's weird to say, seeing as this is my 5th pregnancy where I've actually gone to the doctor and stuff. One of the things she told me was that you are not supposed to eat lunch meat during pregnancy, and I had no idea, and it sounds silly, like how can you not have any idea you're not supposed to eat lunch meat? It's really hard to know when you aren't aware, nobody's ever told you, and you just don't know. So I didn't know you weren't supposed to eat lunch meat. My second pregnancy, all I craved was deli pepper turkey, so I mean, I'm not going to eat lunch meat from now on, but I have with all of my other pregnancies, and it's been fine. But just to be safe, I'm not going to eat lunch meat. Something that I thought would be really, really fun to do in my pregnancy update videos is answer questions from my subscribers, my followers on Instagram. So I posted a little question poll on my Instagram story. And if you are not following me on Instagram, I always have my Instagram linked in the description box, so you can go ahead and go follow me there. I post all kinds of cute bump pictures, baby pictures. My stories are always full of the babies and things that we do throughout the days, so you can go ahead and go follow me on Instagram. You guys asked me questions regarding pregnancy on Instagram, and I'm going to answer them in this video, so let's get started. The first question is from Taya, I think it's Taya, sorry if I pronounce it wrong. She asks, have I ever had any unmedicated births, or have they all been medicated? And my second pregnancy was actually unmedicated, completely 100%. I didn't plan it. I got to the hospital too late. I don't know how to say this. I felt like I had time for an epidural. I was 7 centimeters, and he was born 2.5 hours after I got to the hospital, so I definitely feel like there was time for an epidural. I just feel like the hospital I delivered at, their nurses were being lazy, and they didn't want to do extra work, like ordering me an epidural when they were trying to still clean up the hospital room for me to deliver in. So there's that. Somebody else asked me if I did have an unmedicated birth, do I plan to do it again? And you know what? The healing from my unmedicated birth versus the healing from my medicated birth was 1000% easier for me. It was the easiest healing experience I've ever had. And that would be the only reason that I would do it again, because the pain was excruciating. And I don't know if it's just because that's the pain you feel when you're not medicated, or if it's because I was completely terrified, it was unexpected, and I just wanted it to be over. So that's something that I'm still contemplating. Maybe if I prepare my mind and my body for it. It might be easy for me considering this is my 5th birth. So it's definitely something that I will have to think about. My sister Amy asked me if my doctor appointment that I had yesterday confirmed we were having a girl. As you guys know, we found out through sneak peek blood tests that we were having a little girl at 11 weeks. And in the beginning, I didn't want to solely rely on that result to say we're having a girl. But my intuition is girl. This pregnancy is 1000% different than the pregnancy with my boys. And the girl results for sneak peek are less likely to be wrong than they are if it was a boy result. So I'm confident it's a girl, and if it's not a girl, which I will confirm at my ultrasound next Thursday, that's just something I'm gonna have to live with, and I'm going to have to announce to the world that I made a big fat mistake, and don't ever announce you're having one thing unless you know for sure. So there's that. Katie from my Instagram asks, how do I do it? How do I run around all day with 4 boys while pregnant? And the answer is most days it's really hard, but this is my normal. This is what I know. I had my first son when I was 17, and ever since then I feel like I've been pregnant back to back, which I have. So it's kind of just my life. It's my routine. My body is kind of used to it. My boys, they all have each other to kind of keep each other busy, so sometimes it's pretty easy because they're just playing with each other, and other times one is more needy than the other, or they're all very needy, or you know, so it's hard, but it's worth it. It really is. I can't wait to see them all grow up and be teenagers in high school and playing sports together, and taking their little girlfriends to prom, and then when they grow up and they get married, you know, I'm just so excited to see them grow up. And most parents want their kids to stay small forever. I'm excited to see them grow up and to see who they're gonna be. Raising Ford from my Instagram asked me 2 questions, and she asked me, have I planned most of my pregnancies, and have I always wanted them so close? And before I answer these 2 questions, I just want to say that I absolutely love Raising Ford's blog, and you guys should go follow her on Instagram. Her page is just so cute and honestly inspiring. Her name is Raising Ford on Instagram. Go ahead and go give her a follow. Have I planned most of my pregnancies? That's a hard question because my first pregnancy was not planned, but we also were not taking precautions to not get pregnant. My second pregnancy was a miscarriage, and it was planned. We wanted a baby. We wanted a sibling for my first child, and we knew we wanted them close in age. So my miscarriage that I did have, I was 9 weeks, and it was planned. It was very heartbreaking. When I had a miscarriage, I cried, I bawled my eyes out. My third pregnancy was kind of planned, kind of not, because I was still unsure if I wanted to try again after I just had a miscarriage. Sorry if you hear screaming babies in the background. They're supposed to be napping, but obviously that's not going very well. My fourth pregnancy was a miscarriage as well, and that baby was planned. My fifth pregnancy was not planned. Not planned at all. I was actually very shocked and very scared to have 3 children. My sixth pregnancy was also not planned at all. I am ashamed to say this, but I actually considered abortion just because my husband and my life was completely off track. Our life was a mess. We weren't in a good financial state, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. I actually called a few clinics just to get more information, and we decided to keep the baby or continue with the pregnancy, whether we gave the baby up for adoption or kept him. And I'm so glad that I kept him because he is my little cuddle bug, my little baby, and I honestly could not picture my life without him. Like, it makes me want to cry just knowing that I even thought that, but that's real life, and I don't feel like I should be ashamed of it or have to hide it. I hope that if you have any commentary on that it is not negative and it is supportive and uplifting. As you can see in my description box of every video, it says negative comments will be deleted and you will be blocked, because I don't want any negativity in my life, and I kind of just want to have a channel of support and uplifting of women and mothers and honestly any person. So negative comments will be deleted and you'll be blocked. Oh, last one. So this pregnancy was not planned at all. We actually were only intimate one time, and I didn't think I was ovulating, but here we are, pregnant for the 7th time with our 5th child, and I'm so happy that we are, because it's our little girl, and I wanted to stop at 4 children, and if I would have stopped at 4 children, I would have never had a little girl, and now I feel like our family is complete. So God is good. Another follower asked, what was the process like for me getting pregnant? And honestly, it's so hard to say this, because I know a lot of women struggle with infertility and getting pregnant. It takes them so long. But with me, I have never had to try to get pregnant. Even when I was planning a pregnancy and trying to get pregnant, it always happened for me right away. And my mother is very fertile. I am very fertile. So honestly, I feel like I got so lucky, and I'm so blessed to be able to have my children that I do have. And honestly, I've thought about being like a surrogate for women who can't get pregnant, but I feel like I've had my children so close in age, so young, that I don't know how much more my body could handle. So that is the only thing that's really stopping me from looking more into being a surrogate, because I think that would be something so amazing. My cousin Becca, she's also a follower on Instagram, she asked, is this really my final child, or do I want more? And I kind of already answered this, but I wanted to stop at 4. 4 was kind of the amount of children my husband and I always had wanted. But I'm so glad we're having our 5th, our baby girl. So this is our last. My husband is actually going to get a vasectomy. He really wants me to get my tubes tied, but I feel like I have all these babies. He should do me a favor, right? My cousin Becca also asked me, after I had Bentlee, did I know I was going to have more children? And when I was pregnant with Bentlee, my first son, and shortly after he was born, I didn't even think about having any more children so soon. But I think when he was about 4 or 5 months old is when my husband and I decided that we did want to have another child close in age with him, so that they can be close in school and life, and just have each other, because he has a twin he's close with, and I have a sister who is only a year younger than me. So that's kind of what we wanted for Bentlee, and that's what he got. So very thankful. Now I'm gonna save the best for last. All of these next questions are from my best friend Paige, and the first question she asked me is, what has been my biggest craving so far this pregnancy? And this pregnancy, my biggest craving is anything sweet. It's not just one thing. I don't eat sweets. I'm not into sweets or candy, but this pregnancy, it's all I've been wanting, and it's really strange for me. How have my emotions been? My emotions have been all over the place. Some in the beginning, I was kind of very motivated and energetic and happy, and then around 9, 10, 11 weeks, I was very angry and moody. And then 12, 13, 14, 15 weeks, I've just been very emotional. So kind of a roller coaster of emotions going on here. She asked, how is it being pregnant and taking care of 4 kids alone? And most of you do know that I'm married. My husband is a very big part of my life and my children's life. However, he works very long days, about 17-hour days, and the other few hours of the day is spent sleeping so that he can go back to work. So most days it is just me taking care of them, and sometimes it does get very stressful, very hard. I cry just because I feel like I've got the world like piling on top of my shoulders. I have so many things I need to do, appointments that I need to make, and it's stressful. It's really stressful, but I manage. The older two boys, they're old enough to kind of understand rules and punishments, and they help me out a lot with cleaning, even if I do have to bribe them with candy. It's really the only way that things can stay routine around here is when the older boys help me, and having a routine is really key. Somebody, I don't want to really say who, they made a comment that I lock my kids in the room all day, which is the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life, because if you know me, my children are my life, I would never lock them in the room. But my children do have a set time that they can get out of their room in the morning time. So around 7:30 they get out of the room and they get breakfast. If they wake up before that, they just play in their room until it's breakfast time. They also have a set nap time, which is 3 hours long. Whether they nap or they quietly play in their room, that's their nap time. That's when I take care of the babies and the house and the laundry and myself. So they have their set nap time. They also have a set dinner time and a set bedtime. So my life with my children is very routine, and that's how it's going to stay. That's how your life needs to be if you don't want to rip your hair out, okay? Okay. Any aversions? And lately I haven't really had any aversions, but this entire pregnancy I haven't been able to eat pickles. They're disgusting to me. One day we didn't have barely anything to eat because we hadn't gone grocery shopping. We had a jar full of pickles, so I was like, okay, let me try this. I ate the entire thing, but I wanted to vomit. It was disgusting. Well, you guys, that is all of the questions that I got from my Instagram followers. So make sure you go follow me on Instagram, because I will do this every pregnancy update video. I think it's really fun, and I love answering you guys' questions. So make sure you follow me there. And now I'm going to show you my bump date. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on, bump date. It's my belly. It's getting pretty big. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure your bell notification is turned on in the lower right corner. I think it's the right corner or the left corner maybe. Make sure your bell notification is turned on so you get notified when I upload a new video. And please, if you have any other questions for me that I didn't answer in this video, leave them in the comment section and I will answer them in my next pregnancy update video, which will be next Friday. I'm going to post an update next Friday because I have my ultrasound, my very first ultrasound on Thursday, and I want to keep you guys in the loop and updated. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.